ESPN. I mean, is it put him in difficult to make any fight with him?
But at the same point, he stayed with the people that got him there, and like, I don't know, call me crazy, but I think that there is, I think that when Eddie made a run at all these guys and they stayed with Al, I think they did the right thing.
Right.
I could have criticized Crawford for staying with the people that believed in him and got him where he was.
But when a fan says, "Why don't you make the fight?"
But at some point, if it becomes big enough and there's enough money in it, I don't believe that these competing deals in the long run are going to prevent something that is really economically powerful. It might prevent the fight that the fan says, I want to know who's best and I want to see this guy against this guy. But if this guy against this guy's not going to draw particularly more money than other stuff, you ain't going to see it. Mm-hmm. But if something emerges...
It makes the fight more difficult.
Yeah, it makes it more difficult, makes certain fights. But at the same time, if something emerges that's really the mega dollar thing, it's going to happen.
But if the fans...
Look,
tomorrow, fans say, hey, Lou, how come Crawford doesn't fight Spence? How come Crawford doesn't? How come Spence won't? They always say, why did Spence
I'd say go ask Bob.
So talk about that.
No, I mean, it's not talking. But look, but at the same time, you know, I'm going to be straight on everything. You got guys who are fighting over there. You got a division where, let's face reality, the incredible majority of the talent in the welterweight division is in PBC.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Right.
So it's easier to make a lot of competitive matchups in the PBC universe right now at welterweight.
When a fan says, Garcia won't fight Crawford, what do you tell him? You say Bob's in the way, or?
I mean, you say...
Is that the truth?
Look, let's face it. Look, I just went through a scenario where I couldn't go to purse bid on a Derevyanchenko fight because HBO had futures on Danny Jacobs. Mm-hmm. So in order to make the fight, I had to take the deal that was there from HBO, or the fight wouldn't happen. And my fighter wanted to fight, so I made the deal. This is not anything it's not new. What's different about today is that there are more independent factions that have exclusive deals with certain networks, and that does create impediments. But that being said, if any party really wants something to happen bad enough, it can happen. And if enough money is there, something becomes big enough, then it incentivizes those people that have those competing deals to say, we're going to find a way around it. And I believe when something gets big enough, they're going to find a way around it.
Do you think the same question about Wilder and Joshua? Could we?
Yeah, but there's a little difference there. Joshua didn't want that fucking fight. I know that. I said it a year and a half ago. I said it a year ago. And by the way, when Barry Hearn goes now recently, maybe in 2 years that fight will happen, but at the same time, am I like sitting there going to curse at people about it? No, because why isn't it happening? Because Joshua has a list of fights he can take that are far less risky than Deontay Wilder, and he can still make a lot of money, right? So I mean, it's a fucking. Here's one consistency: it's always been a fucking business.
No kidding.
And anyone like since when is boxing fair?
Hey Lou,
since when? I mean, it is what it is.
Lou, speaking of Crawford,
You got it. That's
would you say that?
Since when is boxing?
Lou, would you say that all the the legitimate competition is over on this side of the street when it comes to the welterweight division?
There's one welterweight elsewhere.
What's that?
There's one guy elsewhere that's. I mean, look, I'm never going to.
Can he get a legitimate win without coming on this side? Does he have to come through these guys to get a win that is respected?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like the game is very liquid and things change and guys emerge and whatever. I mean, you're never going to hear me disrespect Crawford. He's a good fighter, a great fighter, right? But the majority of talent in the welterweight division is in the PBC. That's just the reality.
Right. Now, speaking of Wilder, I got a question about Wilder's fight with Fury. If he has a spectacular knockout over Fury, where does that put the bargaining chips as far as
it changes all the bargaining chips
for the Joshua fight?
Of course, it changes it. Of course it does. I mean, you know, but
Does that make
I
it
also.
like a 50-50 fight ish?
I mean, I'm not getting into talking about any
no,
percentages publicly or whatever.
Okay.
I said this all along. When Joshua's people are ready to fight Fury or Deontay, they will.
Simple as that.